Hello and welcome to the 60-second episode of Out of State DMing. I'm your host, LuksBlackheart, and my co host, Bacon. To,
Yours and senoritas.
uh, we are going to be going into 4th level spells. Because that's where some of the spells can get real inventive. And thoughtful. This we're going to start off with Dimensional Anchor. What this does is it pretty much you hit a creature with it, and they cannot teleport or plane shift. They're kind of just stuck there. So if you wanted to stop a,
You're getting a bit staticky.
can you hear me better now? Um, hey, it's not it's not part of the podcast if we're not having some sort of problem.
They seem to be the key for this success here.
Yeah, we're constantly having problems. Excuse me. If we ever make it big and actually start making money, those problems might go away because, better internet and an actual support staff. But that's a dream so far away that it might never happen. We can dream. But I said you slap a person on it, and they're just if they want to get away, they have to run away from you. It's also really good if you want to permanently kill outsiders. There's if you want to just make sure nothing can get away from you and not if come back and haunt you, you just slap that on them, and now they're just gonna die. The next spell is a spell that has gotten multiple players in trouble because they used it. Oh, you use it on one another more often than not, and it's Fire Trap. What this spell does is when you cast it on something that can be opened, a chest, a door, a wizard spellbook, a scroll, anything that can be opened, you can technically put Fire Trap on. When the object is opened, it kind of just boom with a puff of fire that does 1d4 damage with additional +1 per level. So yeah, when you get to a certain point, you can do decent damage with it, but it's also enough to light on fire scrolls and spellbooks, unless it's fireproof, which, despite what people think, not all spellbooks are fireproof. Some people learn that the hard way. But it's also a nice way to make sure no one sneaks into your pouch to try to snag stuff out of it. So if you cast it on your bag of holding, you're going to remember. Hopefully you remember it's there, but next time someone decides they're going to open it to try and take something out of it, bam, fire trap goes off. Everyone's now alerted that there's a thief in the party trying to steal from other party members. Or you cast it on a potion that you know someone's going to use. They pop open the potion to use it, and boom, fire damage. Because yes, those are things that have legitimately happened in games. Because people are not always nice. The next spell is a spell that I rarely see used, despite the fact it's probably up there with one of the really good ones. Is that LadyCelt?
Yes, I managed to, I'm sitting here with my phone. I'm working with my phone to do to do everything. I've got a mobile hotspot on.
Yeah, someone getting worried for
Uh,
a moment.
well, I was at Yorktown today, and then we there you go. And then we went out for dinner at the pub down there at the end of the way past the hotel. We went over there.
Yeah.
And come here. Be seen.
What up, Junior?
Hey, Jacob. I'm gonna need to grab my sunglasses.
He's going to go get his sunglasses, apparently. So,
everyone needs to look cool. We're about ready to hop on.
What are we on?
We're about ready to hop on the fourth level wizard spell.
Okay.
And I said, I was saying right as you popped in, this spell I haven't actually seen it get much use unless the DM's using it, and it's Lesser Globe of Invulnerability. Just on the name, that sounds like a really good spell, right?
Yeah, it does.
What it does is, while it's active, it stops first through third level spells from affecting you.
Okay.
You don't want to get hit by Fireball? Lesser Orb of Invulnerability. You don't want someone to hit you with Slow? Or really anything of first through second level? Oh, first through third level? Well, you're golden. There is other limitations that when we get to that full description of the spell, we can cover it. But it's still a really, really good spell.
That is actually a good spell, especially to cast on yourself, especially if you have a person in your party that's likely to cast Fireball in an enclosed area, so you can't really...
Or if you're the person that wants to cast Fireball in that enclosed area, you can go, I don't care how big the room is, I cast Fireball. They're like, but you're going to hit yourself too. Just look and grin, cast it, and then like, why didn't it affect you? Lesser Orb of Invulnerability. But then you have other party members going, wait, you can cast that and you didn't cast it on the rest of us, knowing you're just going to Fireball everything? I have limited castings.
Right. And besides, y'all should do that. See, I'm with a bunch of people today.
Yeah.
Tony's here too.
That bearded person.
Oh, you want to see Beard? Come here. Show him the sides, your sideburns. He just turned 15.
And you're talking to the guy that gets called Amish on a daily basis, okay? Yeah, I don't want to hear it.
I remember that.
You need a wool hat.
Well, you'd make a great Hagrid for Halloween.
Not fat enough. The next spell is also a really good spell. Stone Skin. You can ignore 10 points of damage whenever you get smacked by something. Which is really awesome. While you cast it on yourself or you hit the frontline fighter with it. Because ignoring 10 points of damage, and it's nondescript, as in it covers any damage source that counts as a legit damage source. Does it technically...
Oh, nice.
You have hardness. So it protects you against, like, a club being smacked at you. Being swung at you. The breath weapon of a dragon. A fireball. Whoop, you go, that's 10 points damage I don't have to concern myself with.
Yeah, and that can make the difference between life and death.
Yeah. The next spell, Bacon has lots of experience with. Dimension Door.
Ooh. What does that do?
Spell.
It's
Turn 10
a
spell.
short-range teleportation spell.
Ooh, nice.
In the last big campaign I ran, Bacon had it, and he used it a lot. And I actually loved the fact he used it a lot because it saved him so many times. And then also let him save other party members. Just like the distance is the limitations are like, I think like it's either 10 feet or 100 feet per caster level, but you have to be able to see where you're doing where you're going.
Okay.
So it's like a line of sight thing. So if you're powerful enough, you can go far enough, and even if you're not, like while it's 10 feet or 100 feet, because again I can't exactly remember off the top of my head.
It was 100 feet because I was able to teleport 850 feet.
Yeah, right there, 100 feet. So like no matter what, 400 feet, 800 feet, 2,000 feet, because if you're level 20, that simple, I'm just going to be over here to over here, can make a huge difference in doing a lot of things. For example, getting to the part of the room you need to be in to destroy the magical item that's going to cause massive problems, and you don't really want the party right next to it when you do it. So dimension door by it. Bypasses so many traps,
Okay, yeah.
waiting bad guys and stuff, and now the bad guys have to focus on you to try to stop you instead of focusing on the party, because the party is far enough away that the bad guys are like, oh, we got to worry about this guy who just circumvented us. You can use it to get down from top of a tower quick enough so that way a party member doesn't get tout by a fog giant, because it just got pummeled into unconsciousness, and they're about ready to curb stomp the party member. So you teleport on top of them going, this is gonna suck for me, but they're gonna live. Isn't that right, Bacon?
Yes, it is. That has happened on more than one occasion.
Yeah.
Dimensions Door was my absolute saving grace teleport. Listen, if the vampire player ever hits you with Dimensions Door, and now all of a sudden the vampire player is not there, and you are in a room without that player, just know whatever happens next was planned.
Nice.
Yeah. The next spell is a spell that when people use,
It may have not been well planned.
a lot of things may not be well planned, but they did go as partially planned. As the A-Team motto is, I love it when a plan comes together. Well, I mean, it was Hannibal, and he had a cigar. But the next spell is a spell that a lot of people think does a lot more than what it does. And when they find out it doesn't, they decide that they're just not going to use it anymore. And they just look at people who use it and go, that spell sucks, stop using it. Everett's Black Tentacles.
Okay. What does it do?
I've been banned from using this spell.
It is a 15-foot radius spread on the ground where black tentacles pop up to grapple things within that radius. They grapple them.
This is looking at.
A lot of people are like, no, it does all this damage. It's like, it says here it does grappling. It's I'm going to hold the people there.
If you ever had tentacle fantasy and you wanted to replicate it in D&D, Everett's Black Tentacles. I'm just letting you know. Then that's exactly what I was.
I'm good. I don't do calamari or none of it.
That is not what I was talking about, but absolutely.
Hey, whatever your kink is, we're kink shaming here. That's my kink.
My kink is kink shaming.
But like a lot of people assume that it's going to be this massive damaging spell that's going to kill so many things. It's like, no, it's very
simply just a grapple.
It's grappling. It keeps enemies where you want them. And because they're grappled, they're denied the reflex saving throw for a fireball. So if there's a annoying enemy rogue that's going na boo boo, I'm passing the reflex saving throw, so I'm not caring about that fireball you keep shooting at me. You can go, Everett's Black Tentacles, and the rogue just looks at you like, you chinky butt monkey. It's like, dodge this, peasant! Fireball. So it's still a good spell, but it's just a lot of people think it does damage and instant kill things. It's like, no. The next spell, Bacon can say that this spell is really good. It's Limit Secure Shelter.
Okay.
There
That
is a lesser
spell,
version of it that we went over a few episodes ago, but this is literally
that spell
it's an awesome cottage.
is the best spell. I don't care. Listen, if you ever need a support spell in your list, this is the support spell you need.
Okay.
This thing saved us. So in this campaign that Lux keeps talking about, we had a special tower that we lost, and I very much so broke my heart because I had that thing forever. I picked up this spell. I will pick this spell up every campaign until the day I die. It is that good. It is that good.
Yep, because it's unless you let
This Libre
something in
out, which is
or something
Libre.
does some sort of anti-magical effect to get rid of it, you're safe. There's a reason why it creates a it's called secure shelter. You're safe in it. So you can be in like a very hostile environment where you're constantly running into creatures. Resting's a pain because at any moment some flesh-eating monster that spews toxic gas that suffocates you could be around any corner. You cast this, everyone goes inside. For a duration of the spell, you're safe.
Okay.
The monsters may be waiting outside for you, but for the duration of the spell, you're safe. And there's a lot of people that, despite the selling point, don't take it.
Mm-hmm. Well, you would think the ability to create a safe haven would be a popular choice.
Yeah. And since it's like,
listen. Let me play this on the same on Jacob's factoids here. People are stupid.
Yeah, this is.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a spell.
30 years of retail experience has taught me that.
This is definitely a spell that once you get access to it, take it. Even if you rarely use it, it can come in handy at any moment.
Right.
So it's like, why not?
This in a very particular spell that's a little bit higher up on the tier list, make for a very secure shelter with a built-in alarm system and security. And we are going to get over to that security spell very soon. It is my favorite security spell ever. And I will never take it. I will never take another spell for security purposes other than that spell.
Okay.
The next spell is Minor Creation. You can use it to create one cloth or wooden object. The exact limitations on the amount or quality, I would have to go look up the spell itself, but it's a manufacturing spell. So if the party needs... Ooh, I'm getting burpy now. So if the party needs, like, cloth stuff to repair particular parts of, like, clothing and stuff that uses cloth, well, Minor Creation, here's cloth. Wooden stuff, Minor Creation, here's wood. So you can actually help the party out financially by producing that. Or if your if your character retires, you can go, oh, I have a cloth business selling cloth. Well, how did you get into cloth?
Yeah.
I just cast Minor Creation all day, and then I start selling it. Once I get a warehouse, I start producing more and start stockpiling that up. So that way I can literally flood the market with cloth. And because it says wood object, you can also make like little wooden toys or like little figurines. So you can also have a trinket shop. If you're friends with a druid who has ironwood, you can create like rings and jewelry out of wood and then cast ironwood on it. Now it's just as strong as steel, so you have wooden things that act as steel rings. So it looks like a wooden ring, but it's really going to last forever. So you can just have cool, unique trinkets.
Okay.
Great retirement spell. The next spell is called Solid Fog. It blocks vision and slows movement. While everyone's in that radius, if something's practically not right adjacent to them, you can't really see it. Not to mention the fact that while moving through it, you're moving at like half speed. So you can't just full tilt run out and go, well, I have a space speed 30, so I can full run like 120 feet that way. You're like, not while in your fog. It's cut down to 15. 60 is the best you're going to do on a full run. P.S. If there's anything between you and them, you're literally running into it. Does the fog solid enough that you don't have proper time to not run into it if you full tilt run, because it's solid fog. If you ever been in really, really thick fog, then you know the problems of moving through fog. This is, I think the best description is it's solid enough that you can feel it as you move your hand through it. So it's like, it's just thick. So it's a good slow stuff down, confuse stuff. If you want to teleport without really risking it, you can fog cloud the room, move a little bit to one side, and then teleport yourself out of it, because the enemy can't really hit you if they can't see you.
Right.
So it gives concealment bonuses. So it can be good there. Unless you're fighting something that has an extraordinary sense, like blind sight, blind sense, tremor sense, then those creatures are just going to look at you through the fog and go, I know where you're at. I can still see you. Come here. So it doesn't really work on dragons. The next spell is, of course, Summon Monster Level 4. So it lets you summon extraplanar creatures from up to the 4th level list. So we'll just...
Okay.
More strong... same as the... I'm going to say it every time the spell comes up. It's the same as the lower level ones, but a stronger creature.
Okay.
Still short-lived. This is still around per level. But you can do better summons, so that's always good. The next spell is a spell that no one really appreciates until you throw an item that lets them use it. Arcane Eye. It is an invisible floating eye that can move 30 feet around. It is literally... you can have it scout for you. You can have it observe an area.
Right, I was just thinking that.
It may not be able to go beyond 30, move more than 30 feet a turn, but it's an invisible floating eye. So you can literally be super focused on going in one direction looking, and as long as you're moving slow enough, you can have that floating slightly above you, watching your back.
Okay.
I believe you can also see through it yourself, which does increase the usefulness of it. When we get to the spell itself, we'll go over the limitations of it. But it's still a really good means of just having an extra direction to look in, or just spying on an area without having to be in the area. If you're trying to tail someone in the city, having a floating eye tail them that's invisible is a lot better than you yourself, because, well, unless they can see invisibility, there's a good chance they're not catching that eyeball following them. So that's good. Detect Scrying. You become alert if you are being magically eavesdropped. If someone's magically eavesdropping on you.
Okay.
Pretty much if someone's scrying in your area you're in and you have the spell active, you can go, someone's watching us. We got to leave the area, stop talking, and then be wary of anyone that's trying to find us. That spell's not necessarily used that much, and most of the time I've seen it used, it's never alerted the players, because like the entity we're combating doesn't use scrying. How do you know? Because it's an orc warlord. We know he's a barbarian, and he's not fond of magic when it comes to, well, anything magic. Not just like magical item. He doesn't like magical anything, and this is like a weapon and armor. So we don't have to worry about scrying. But just in case. No, if we were fighting like a lich or an evil archmage, then I would worry about scrying. But no, most of the time, unless you're pretty sure the enemy uses scrying, you don't ever have to worry about that spell. I'd also say the fact that it's only used when no one's scrying. The next spell can be useful in the right circumstance. Locate creature. It indicates the direction to familiar creature. So if you're trying to find another party member and you're lost and like you're separated in like a maze or a labyrinth or just in an area where you need to find them, that can help you. If you're trying to tail a creature without having to dig too close, that can, as long as they're not trying to go mock Jesus and just get away from you, you can use that to stalk them because you just keep them within that area and you're far enough away that you don't have to worry about being seen or anything because, well, range penalties to sight and listen checks. So that's good there. Then we have scrying itself. So not just the am I being spied on spell, but actual scrying, where you can spy on a subject from a distance, which is literally just...
That would be a hilarious scenario. Like, you cast those spells and like, hey, they're watching us. No, they're watching us.
Yeah, it would be funny. If they both have scrying, and then both groups
and of
cast
course,
scrying on each other. They're like, we're being watched. Wait, they know we're being watched, and we're being watched. Oh my god. But it can be a decent spell when it's actually used and used effectively. Because there's an entire chart that goes on for the will saving throw the subject gets, and like the better you know the subject and the better the connection stuff to them or to a location, the easier time you're going to have scrying it. And typically you have to have an object that technically belongs to that person, like a comb, a dagger, an arrow, like something that technically belongs to them. That helps you out a lot more. But it's also a spell that a lot of players don't actually use unless they're trying to cheese through circumstances, like trying to find a certain location that they know is protected against scrying. So they're just going to scry this entire area until they find an area they can't scry in, when it's like the location's underground and there's a forest on top of it. So you're just not going to see the structure. One, you can't see through the forest. And two, it's underground. So you're just not going to be able to do it.
Right.
So it's like, make it make sense.
You can look up anything that Excel does online.
The next spell, it's a spell that should get used a lot more, but it doesn't. And it's Charm Monster. And it makes monsters believe it is your ally. It's kind of like Charm Person, but instead of it being limited to humanoids, it's broadened term. So it works on like magical beasts. So the bugbear that's charging at, not bugbear, owlbear that's charging at you, Charm Monster. Unicorn that wants to beat the crap out of the impure bard, Charm Monster. So it just works on a broader spectrum of creatures that's not just humanoids. So it's a lot better. Then there's Confusion. That subject behaves oddly for 1 round per caster level. So the higher level you are, the longer it lasts. This could make them do absolutely nothing during their turn. Attack an ally. hurt themselves or like act normally. They there's like there's a
So,
legit chart for it. Uh, and it is one of those spells that people are like, oh, it's a good spell, but then it gets used on them, and they're like, it's a sucky, horrible spell. Why would you do this to us? Been there, done that. The next spell is a debuff spell that isn't. I can't recall the last time I seen a player use this. Crushing Despair. A subject gets a -2 to attack rolls, damage rolls, saves, and skill checks.
you're saying like different.
So pretty much any time they roll a d20, they're taking a -2 when they do that roll. That is a very good spell. Because it's across the board, that person takes these penalties. So any additional spells are going to work easier. You don't have to worry about them hitting or doing that much damage when they do hit because they're taking -2s. Skill checks aren't going to be that great because, again, there's a -2. Any minus to the enemy is a good minus to the enemy because it helps keep you alive.
Right.
But it is one of those spells that no one really uses because I probably said this before and I'll probably say it again. A lot of people like to focus on the can I insta-kill it with this spells. Like how everyone goes for Fireball, even though there's several other really good level 3 spells. When it comes to 4th level spells, a lot of people rather go for the stuff that does damage because it's more appealing to them. It's less confusing. It's less rolling. It's less remembering. It's just simply, this spell does this damage. Yay!
Yeah.
So they take the simpleton approach of, we're not going to do anything that could possibly affect a lot of things. Like, if you want to have the enemy fail saving throws for those damage spells, them having a minus helps. And since it's a minus across the board, which is fortitude, reflex, and will saving throws, that helps out for everything you're doing. The next spell is Lesser Geese, which you can command a subject up to 7 hit dice or less, and they kind of have to fulfill that goal. It's pretty much giving them a mission they have to, a miniature mission they have to complete. Like, you cast Lesser Geese on the town guard to let everyone in for the duration of the spell. So he's not stopping anyone, he's just letting everyone in. A mass murderer shows up to start wants to butcher the party. You can go Lesser Geese, turn yourself in willingly to the guards. So you can probably get real inventive with it because it is one of the more powerful command spells, with the only real limit is 7 hit die. So pretty much 7th level or lower creatures, you can do it. My only issue is players using this on other players.
Oh, yeah.
Because you wouldn't believe the amount of times I've heard a wizard or sorcerer go, I cast Lesser Gaze on the paladin. It's like, why? Oh, you'll find out when I do the command. It's like, hold up. Wait a minute. You're doing a bad. It's like, I cast Lesser Gaze. He has to make a will saving throw. Oh, he failed. Give me all your equipment and go admit that you're a murderer to the town guard. It's like, what? What? That's not gonna work. Fine, give me all your equipment, strip naked, and start running around saying you're going to hump everyone.
Yes, I could only envision what Todd would do with that spell.
Yeah, what's not knowing Todd?
That's what I'm saying. He just would, ew.
Yeah. But no, that scenario has happened in a campaign I was playing in, where a player literally used Lesser Geese on the Paladin to get all the Paladin's crap, and then commanded them to do stuff that got them arrested. Why?
That's pretty typical in life, though, isn't it? You have a bad one.
Yeah, it's like the reason is the Paladin didn't want the party to go on a mission for one of the local nobles. I can't remember what position he has, but it was nobles, because the noble was evil. So it's like, of course the Paladin doesn't want to work for the evil guy because that's against his code. So he's like, yeah, let's not work for the evil guy. That's going to make us evil because we're working for evil. Let's not screw ourselves for a little bit of money. The wizard. Lesser Geese. It's like,
the Paladin's never going to go along with that. Oh, don't worry about it. I got the Paladin.
Don't worry about it. The Paladin's not going to be a problem. You're going to convince him to? Yes?
You can say that.
Where's the
in a
Paladin?
Manner of speaking.
Oh, he's imprisoned for trying to hump stuff. What? Yeah. But moving on from that spell, that certain people should not use that because I know he's going to be a little too far with it because he'll find it somewhat funny. So let's not do that.
I'm going to be a menace with Lesser Geese.
No, you're not. We're going to pretend that you didn't hear that spell.
Oh, I have already looked at it. I just tried not to be a douche canoe about it.
Well, yeah, it's because you try not to ruin the fun for everyone.
Yeah, but, our next campaign, I don't have to worry about a single other player for 2 months.
Yeah.
So I get to be a menace to society for 2 whole months.
Lovely.
Yeah. The next spell is a spell that I've only seen people take when their party's going into environments they deem it useful in. Fire Shield. Creatures attacking you take fire damage. You are protected from heat or cold. So pretty much when it says heat or cold, you're not actually protected against fire damage or cold damage, but what you are is if you cast Fire Shield and you choose heat, you can go into a desert and not be as concerning about how hot it is because, well, you have heat protections. Or you can go, hey, we're going to a tundra. Fire Shield, cold. Yay! So for that short period, you have cold protection. On top of the fact that creatures attacking you, which it has to be like natural weapons or melee, well, melee-related weapons, they take I think like a die 4 damage or something like that. But like, a creature goes up to smack you, it's like, oh, I shouldn't touch you because you're burny. Don't touch hot things. You don't have to be super intelligent to know that if you touch something and you get burnt, you shouldn't touch it. And there's a lot of creatures that will look on you because you kind of have a look like you might be on fire. They'll go, he's not screaming in agonizing pain, but I'm pretty sure he's on fire. Touches, gets burnt. Yeah, he's on fire. Can we not touch the burning guy? So it has its uses. Then we have a spell that a lot of players like to take because it's a damage spell. Ice Storm. It hails. It does 5d6 damage in a cylinder 40 feet across. Now, it's, even though it says 5d6, it's like 2d6 cold and 3d6 bludgeoning because you're being hit by literal charge of hail. So it's physical damage and elemental damage hitting you. So it's still 5d6. It's just what portion is cold, what portion is bludgeoning. And it's still a decent spell, but it's one of the 4th level spells that people go, we don't want to take any of these. We just want to kill the bad guys quicker. And here's an AoE damage spell. Then we have Odaluk's Resilient Sphere. It's a force globe that protects but traps one subject. So whoever has it on them, it's kind of stuck where they're at in a bubble.
That'd be great for toddlers.
Yeah, it would be great for toddlers. Let's go. Here's my anti-toddler spell. What?
After me, I was around Larabelle today, and I've been around Lucky, and yeah, toddlers are. I couldn't do it again at this point in my life. No.
It's good for stopping allies from going over the edge. Temporary trapping the bad guy so he can't get away, so the party has time to do stuff. Protecting yourself for a short time so you have time to like, prep or do other spells and stuff. But that is a spell that I haven't seen used in almost 20 years.
Wow.
Because it's one of the spells that people just go, Mainly because I trapped the bad guy, but now he's protected. So unless we can get stuff in there with him, we can't do anything. Then why do we have the spell? It's can we surround him? Can we hotbox him? The next spell is another spell a lot of people take. Shout. This spell's not taken as much as a lot of other of the damage spells, but is one occasionally taking. It deafens all within a cone. They do get saving throw against it, but still a cone. And does 5d6 sonic damage. Which, to me, that spell is really, really good because sonic is one of the few things that creatures will have resistances or immunity to. Because it's like I said, it's like cold, fire, electricity, acid, and then sonic/concussion. Because even though there is stuff that does it, that's not what you commonly see stuff being resistant to when it comes to the monsters in the Monsters Manual Guide, or a lot of the magical items that a lot of bad guys have. Doesn't really protect them against sonic damage. Which it doesn't really matter, because when you have 9 out of 10 players taking every other elemental type that's not this, it doesn't matter if the bad guy has it or not, it's not being used 9 out of 10 times. Which, to me, you're being deafened and you're doing somewhere between 5 to 30 damage. That's really great. And it's a cone, so it's affecting multiple targets. But it does require you to be have a certain closeness to whatever you're casting on, because you don't just pick a spot and a cone pops up. It's your cone from you is the one being hit.
Okay, yeah, I turned my camera off. I'm still here. I just I'm using my phone to stream it, and I don't want my phone to die and then get cut off suddenly. And yeah.
We'll just blame Tony. The next spell is a really good spell. It is highly used, and if you use it correctly, you're just winning. Wall of Fire. We all know who loves that spell.
I heard half of my Easy Bake Oven.
Yeah, because it's 2 die 4 fire damage out to 10 feet,
okay.
And die 4 out to 20, and if you're passing through it, it's 2 die 6 plus 1 per caster level.
So there is no stipulation on where you can cast the Wall of Fire as long as you can see. Now, I don't know if you're aware of this. Wall of Force is not a visible wall. That being said, if you were to put Wall of Force surrounding a target, encasing them, and then promptly cast Wall of Fire inside the Wall of Force, you have my favorite spell combination called the Easy Bake Oven. Originally, it had a different name. Jacob did not allow us to keep that name.
No, we didn't. No, we didn't.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
We will not bring up the name here. If anyone watches this, if you can guess the name, don't leave a comment because
You can guess
That's
the name.
probably
It
I
was
don't like.
work.
I mean, I want to eventually have my stuff monetized, and if that word pops up, probably not going to get monetized.
Listen, I'm not going to say the word. I'm just going to say that it was a terrible point in history. We're going to leave it at that.
Thank you for aiding them.
Oh dear. Oh dear. It just yeah.
Did it click finally? Did it finally click?
Oh yeah, it clicked, and I'm sitting here thinking if I came up with that, you go to confession, I think the priest just comes out and slaps you.
Yeah,
so
that's
the original name was not allowed, so we promptly changed the name to something more safe for work, which turned out to be Easy Bake Oven, which is also why Jacob no longer allows me to be within 100 feet of his liches.
It's like, no, I want an actual fight, not a I hate you. This is supposed to be a hard
I'll
fight.
be right back.
This is supposed to be a fight.
Jacob does not approve. It was okay. If it makes you feel better, it was a very hard fight. For the 5 seconds he was alive,
well, he was alive for a lot longer than 5 seconds, but didn't help the fact that, yeah,
Easy Bake. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
I'm so old that I had an Easy Bake Oven when they were still done with a 100-watt light bulb.
They took Easy Bake Ovens off of the market. Too many kids were burning themselves on hot baked goods because who would have thought giving a child an oven was a bad idea?
That's how you learn how to behave around an oven. You get an Easy Bake Oven, you burn the piss out of yourself a few times, and then you learn oven mitts are a great invention.
Yeah, see, this day and age, they don't want kids to learn that way. Apparently, it's bad.
Yeah. Well,
soft.
On to Wall of Ice.
It's fucking gentle parroting bullshit.
This does have slightly more limitations than Wall of Fire. Like, you can't place it where there's a creature at because it creates a actual physical wall. Excuse me. You could create a hemisphere. Well, a hemisphere and trap creatures inside of it. But it's a physical wall of ice that does have a decent amount of hit points. This is like 15 with additional +1 per caster level you possess, so it could take a decent while for someone to smash through it. But you can still, here's lots of ice. And it creates a actual structure of ice to do it. Still good for trapping things, making things go in a direction you want. It's technically, unless you're in the right environment, won't last technically forever because eventually it will melt, which could hydrate certain areas if you cast them in the right areas. But still, pretty good.
Okay, good question. Here's a question.
Oh, no.
You're in the desert and you have something. Can you cast that and use the ice to sustain yourself because it melts into water?
We would have to, like I said, we would have to double check the spell itself, but from memory serves, it creates actual ice that when the spell effect, that will eventually melt, and it's technically frozen fresh water that has no contaminants or anything in it. So technically you could cast it and someone just weave it in the area. If you stay near it, you can help with your temperature because it's radiating cold, the sun. I won't recommend getting yourself wet while in the beaming sun because that will cook you. Don't do it. Don't matter how tempted you are. If you're in the desert, don't soak yourself with water. The water will refract the light and you will cook. Don't do that. But you could, if you had a detainer or something.
That's what I'm saying. If you had like pots or something.
Yeah. So you technically could use it to have a limited source of water because as long as the wall lasts, you can technically get water from it. And then as it melts, depending on how much wall's there, you can end up if you cast enough times, you can end up actually creating a water hole. This is going to saturate the ground / evaporate. You do it enough times, there's going to be residual water there that it's just going to start formulating. So you could technically use it to create your own little oasis.
Nice.
Which would draw in other creatures and stuff, which will then go, hey, I don't have to go hunting because the creatures are coming to me. Which, here's another thing, since you bring up deserts, here's a spell that can really, really mess with things. Hallucinatory terrain.
That could get fun quick.
Another fun spell.
Yeah, another one type of terrain appears, like a field into a forest or the like. So you can be in the desert, cast it, and you can make it literally look like there's a patch of forest or a field of daisies.
Now, conversely, could you make it look like a forest was a field?
Yes. If you're in the forest, it's hallucinatory terrain, so the area, it looks like there's a field when you're in the forest. Now, as you're walking through it, there's certain things that can make things go, oh, we're not really in a field, such as walking into a tree that they can't see. Going to mess with some of the plants in their hand, someone goes through it, or they're like, wait, this isn't a flower. How do you tell? Because this is a thorn bush. I can tell because there's thorns sticking out of my hand.
Why am I bleeding?
Yeah, it's like, why am I bleeding thing. So you can...
I was thinking more along the lines of you're running through a forest trying to get away from people. You cast the illusion that you're in a field and you just kind of sit back and watch the carnage as they run themselves headlong into trees.
Yeah, that would technically work because they're not going to get confused. Like, one, where does this field come from? And two, why are we running into invisible trees? Now, the thing you're going to have to watch out for if you do this is if you choose the right type of like field, like certain looks and stuff, certain things chasing you might stop, look at the field, and immediately run away. Because if you're in a forest and then there's random field of bed of flowers, or particular types of plants in some sort of circle,
that's basically
that kind of sticks out a bit.
But
what do you think you just came across?
Fairy ring.
Yeah. And
fairy ring, or
there's generally
pick the wrong mushrooms.
In D&D, if you run into a certain scenario like that, there's several typical entities that could be in it or around it. The first one would be some sort of fae, because, well, that's their home. Then there's plant creatures. Or you've just found a small druid's grove, which means there's a couple druids nearby. A lot of creatures that have an actual intelligence or just know better don't really mess with those particular areas because they're like, they are there. Or they go, hey, I'm going to get help because I'm a big scary animal. There must be some sort of fae creature here, and it's going to help me hunt down and brutally massacre this group of morons that just, pissed me off. So you could be, it's searching for something. Okay, now we're just going to leave while it's distracted. Certain creatures may stop following you entirely because of it, or just go, I need to find the fae here. But yeah, it's still a fun spell. The next spell is also hilarious. Illusionary Wall. You can
Oh,
create a
that's great.
wall,
That's great.
a floor, or a ceiling that looks real, but anything can pass through it. So if there's if you're in a building and part of the floor is say collapsed, you can cast this and go, okay, there's a floor there. During the night, you hear a creature fall down. Why? Because it's trying to get to you, and it walked on what it thought was real floor. Because, well, boom. If you're in a building that has damaged ceiling that you can see through, you can cast it to make it look like there's a ceiling. Yeah, rain's going to get through, but anything trying to get to you is going to try to crawl up it thinking there's an actual ceiling there, and it's just going to immediately fall through, which will alarm everyone that, hey, a creature tried to sneak in, and it's right there because it woke us up. Or there's a illusionary wall that someone tries to do that whole smooth lean on thing with their arm, and they just fall through it like a comical thing. I totally haven't done that at all. But you can have fun with this spell. The next spell is a spell that is really, really good, but it doesn't last very long, just long in compared to its lower level counterpart. Greater invisibility.
Oh, okay.
Unlike invisibility that lasts, it can last in minutes. Greater invisibility lasts rounds.
Okay.
So, if you're level 10, you have 10 rounds, which is 1 minute. If you cast normal invisibility, well, you'll get 10 minutes out of invisibility, which is 10 times longer than greater invisibility at that level. The difference is anything with greater invisibility cast on it can stay invisible even if they attacked. So you can have it on you, cast Fireball, you're still invisible because of greater invisibility. You can cast it on a rogue. He can sneak up, stab the bad guy. Well, he's still invisible. So he can get all those sneak attacks in. So it lets you do extra stuff that the lesser version can't do, because if you do it, you instantly break the invisibility at the cost of not lasting as long. Which, for those out there, there are several ways to make it last longer using meta magic feats or meta magic rods. For instance, there is Extend, which doubles the duration. And if you have Extend and the DM lets you pull from certain other sources, there is the Persistent spell, which you have to have the extended magic feat to do it, which takes the duration of the spell and puts it to 24 hours. So if you're high enough level and you have that, you can have great invisibility last 24 hours. Which means you now don't actually care about encounters, fighting bad guys, you just cast that version of the spell on everyone, and you're just running around.
Okay, well, it's about 7, so I'm going to get off of here so I can get a shower, because I gotta get up early in the morning.
Me and Bacon are going to cover one more spell, and then we're going to end the episode.
Okay.
Around the time.
The fuck you mean me and Bacon?
Okay.
Bacon ain't doing shit.
Well, we have about you have about a minute left. Let Senorita Kelty leave. Now that it's you, it's us. Yay! The last spell we'll cover.
Now that you and me, now we could be dirty.
Now we can be super dirty. Speaking of dirty, here's a spell that does the job. Phantasmal Killer. It is a mental effect that it's a fearsome illusion, kills subject, or deals 3d6 damage. So if they fail the save, they die due to their fake thing kills them. If they pass, they just take some damage. So it's literally like one of those. What's your greatest fear? Why? Phantasmal Killer. You chinky butt monkey. So if you're afraid of spiders, Phantasmal Killer. here's a fearsome illusion of a spider killing you. Have fun. If you have a fear of heights, you're falling down now. If you're a germophobic, which is the people that have to constantly wash their hands because germs, well, your character just died due to inability to wash their hands.
Oh no, I'm scared of my wife being surrounded by my wife and copies of her. Oh, I'm terrified. Oh no, whatever will I do if I?
No, it's like literally, it's a fearsome illusion that is so real that your mind thinks that your death is real. So you just, of course, constructs and undead are immune to it because it's a mental effect. Vermin, because they're considered mindless, aren't affected by it. But everything else that's not those three categories are like, oh my god, I'm dead. Does it goes off of the basis that your brain thinks you're dead, so therefore you just die. But that is the last spell we will be covering tonight. So thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and we will catch you for more shenanigans next week.